Today we're gonna talk about more amazing projects created using Blender, from short films, cool simulations, amazing 2D and 3D animation projects, in addition to a variety of great artworks. After the success of Backrooms found footage, King Pixels on YouTube is back at it again with other backroom videos. Only last month he uploaded 4 videos, with the last one titled Autopsy Report, presumably of one of the Backrooms victims maybe. It's not confirmed, but it's heavily implied that whoever ventures into the backrooms or gets lost inside them can never be found or escape. The lore behind the creepypasta is so vast. How do you think Kane, who is only 16 years old, is doing a phenomenal job, whether it be in his art direction or cinematography, in addition to editing and 3D work? Of course, I'm gonna be following his channel closely and see what this aspiring filmmaker would come up with next. This amazing fluid simulation was made with Blender and Flip Fluids, the powerful liquid simulation add-on that allows you to create high-quality cinematic fluid simulations within Blender. The scene is made by Japanese 3D artist known as Lark, and this awesome simulation took more than 30 hours to bake and render. The other elements in this scene, like trees and plants, were created using Botanic add-on, which is also an amazing tool if you want to create something like this. Infinite Journeys is Punisher's latest and largest 3D community challenge, and this creator is well known for holding occasional 3D competitions of short films and VFX content. This captivating scene we are featuring made it to the top 100 list amongst 2,450 amazing artworks. Space Escape was created by a talented artist called Manuel Peter. As the name suggests, it gives a sci-fi vibe. We can see 2 astronauts making their way into space, escaping the demise of Earth. The artist did put a lot of effort into inserting certain signs and assets into the cabin. We can read the sentence, "Time to Doomsday," meaning the escape was planned and the asteroid's impact time was calculated. We can also see the Game Boy console floating around, displaying the sentence "Game Over." It goes to show the attention to details the artists have put into this amazing artwork. He used many simulations and effects to generate a realistic looking impact. He made a blast wave simulation with intensive volumetric lighting, and he also used 2 layers of explosions to fit the desired look in addition to some smoke effects. Shaheen Sharif is an animator from India who created this 2D animation film during the span of 5 years. He calls it Watchmaker at Time's End. The film is set in the fictional version of Kerala, his hometown, using only free and open source software such as Blender, Krita, and GIMP. Most of the shots in the film are animated using Blender Grease Pencil. In addition to that, the lighting has been done using Blender Cycles, but later, once Eevee came out, the artist switched to it because the time took to render was so huge. The film revolves around the watchmaker who is struggling to make the perfect watch to keep up with the time, since time is uncomfortably relative in his town. This rough and unpolished style of animation is really expressive and draws strong similarities to Misaki Usana's work and shows such as Mind Game and Ping Pong the animation. There is also sound design, which is a bit unconventional to say the least. It's a bit different, but I'm going to let you experience it for yourself. Jake Wong shared some of his VFX shots in this reel. He used a combination of Blender, After Effects, and Premiere to work on these shots. He also used the Embergen add-on for fluid, fire, and smoke simulations. Now check out this atmospheric swamp scene in the forest rendered in Eevee by an artist with the username Keek. The overall look of the scene is great and the sound design is very well done. The cabin in the woods is the first thing that was brought to my attention. I love how the colors and textures look in this project, which makes it look more realistic and gives it more of a scary vibe. The fog is encompassing the whole forest as if it is preventing light from passing through. Also, there is a monster lurking around in the water. This is actually one of the best artworks I have seen this week. This is also a very vibrant cityscape artwork by Tom Plaisir, which he dubbed Rooftop Hideout. The artist behind it actually was inspired by the Dying Light 2 cityscape. He is running this series that he calls AWC, which is a weekly artwork series where he creates an artwork each week. This is the 3rd season, so it's been 3 years since he started doing this, and this time's theme is Dying Light 2. This artwork is an illustration of the crow witch Manjilia that rises from her 2,000-year slumber. Maria Carta, a professional artist from Japan, added this piece to her collection of fantasy 3D characters. She posed her 3D characters artwork with short backstories, and to be honest, they have their own additional artistic touch. It is actually nice to see that 3D artists are captivated by their own works and they are getting immersed in it like this. Manjilia is made solely using Blender, and it goes to show how powerful and capable of creating realistic renders Blender is. For all the sci-fi and space enthusiasts, fasten your seatbelts because Fabian is gonna take you on a trip in his space exploration ship. Pioneers is a series of 3D renders inspired by a mixture of classic designs and Star Wars aviation style. The artist behind it expresses his love for non-symmetrical ships and designs, and through this project, he goes on to create this project that looks amazing. The ship was modeled and textured in Blender, whereas the background was made in Photoshop and finally composited back in Blender and rendered using Eevee. Jungle Racer is a 3D depiction of Marcel's dream, a 3D veteran that previously used Maya and 3ds Max and lately shifted to Blender, and the interesting thing is, this is his first project using Blender. I consider this artwork to be special for how inspiring it is, knowing that the core vision and aim for this channel is to be as inspirational as possible by covering such artworks. Eve in the Garden is a colorful artwork that was done by a very talented 3D character artist called Nazar. The interesting thing is that it successfully blends a stylized art with a touch of realism. The project portrays Eve in the beautifully set up lighting that highlights a rich skin tone. The artist mentioned that he sculpted Eve in ZBrush, then it was textured and rendered in Blender, which explains the beautifully done facial expressions. With this artwork, we have a different approach to 3D character design. The artist Kenny behind this artwork took a 2D artwork of Chibi, a SailorMoon character, from a talented digital artist as reference image, and he created a 3D model out of it. The artist went for a more stylized look rather than a realistic one, and to be honest, he couldn't go wrong with this approach as it perfectly fits the theme of the project. He did a good job modeling the hair in such accuracy and sculpted out a clean stylized look. This project deserves to be featured on this list for how truly amazing it is. It was made by George Siskis, a 3D character artist that makes realistic looking models of popular people and actors. This project is a depiction of Robert Pattinson, the famous actor that lately stole the spotlight for playing Bruce Wayne from the latest Batman movie. The amount of work and attention the artist had to pour into this project is just interesting and amazing, which led to achieving such levels of realism, in addition to the artist's attention to Pattinson's facial expressions and imperfections. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. You can also check some of our previous videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.